Imagine the scene. Waterdeep, city of splendours. Normally a bustling metropolis, but not now. Not in the early hours of the morning. We zoom in on a darkened alleyway in the dock ward. We see the figure of a halfling creaking open two large warehouse doors to reveal a wagon. Slowly edges out of the warehouse and turns itself onto the street. Atop its driver.
Don't be no business between us and the city gates this time, Bethel. We had all kinds of trouble yesterday. And he'll kind of, sitting atop this wagon is this figure who is a mixture of callous and knotted scar. He's just, he's got the kind of a working man's physique and kind of elongated hair all kind of over his body. And a massive hat with a peacock feather, newly acquired, a big fur jacket, and gold chains and gold rings just all over him. And he'll kind of root around and say, I think Monty was asking for a bit of wine to be part of the delivery, Bethel.
Oh yeah. One at the back.
He'll look over and make sure it's there.
You look over, and he's in fact pointing towards a chest on the back with a piece of glass on it, and which is etched into it. It says the words, "In case of emergency, break glass."
At that, he'll kind of tip his hat and say, "Good doing business with you, Bethel. When we get to Daggerford, should I send word?"
Well, I'll expect the wagon back in a couple of days, but other than that, you'll be paid on site.
Fair's fair. Good luck to you and yours. And then he'll kick on the horses and start sort of trundling down the alley. And he'll kind of snake his way through the city streets, trying to draw no kind of attention, even though he's literally a beast of a man, sitting sort of straddling what would be a two-person kind of coachman's drawer on the front of this wagon, and is actually just his entire rump fills it up. As he kind of goes between all the different lights kind of going overhead, he'll kind of pull short next to a tavern that has got a raucous display occurring within it. All kinds of lights and fare taking place inside. And he'll just bellow out, "Monty!"
The door opens and a 6'2", blonde-haired, chiseled Greek god of a man steps outside. Well, as he steps, he sways outside the door. No, I really must go. I have important business with my compadres. I must be going. Goodbye, people of Waterdeep. I will greet Nails. Oh, Nails, my good chap, is punctual as ever. I'm going to just lie in the back and get a couple of 20 winks on the way.
You're walking towards the wrong wagon, Monty.
Right.
That's a trough.
Right, yes, that's why you're good to have around, Nails. There's always a keen head on your shoulders. And with that, Monty collapses in the back of the wagon. Yeah, very good.
Nails will kind of peer over the back and he'll be like, He'll just kind of grunt to himself, and then he'll actually kind of lean over and take some of the covering. He'll actually like put it sort of slightly over and lightly kind of tuck you in.
Thank you, Nails. Top chap.
You'll find your personal cargo in the back, sir. And then he'll kind of kick the horse on again and drive it further down the road. Again, as it sort of snakes through the streets, trying to keep things regular. He'll and before he parts ways, he'll be like, "Gentlemen, ladies," and then he'll kind of kick this drive on. He'll kind of eventually come to a theatre of some description, and there's sort of music and it kind of fading away, I guess, as the night's drawing towards its kind of close. And he'll kind of pull the wagon up again, and he'll just kind of wait there this time and kind of lean back sort of on his sort of seat and sort of just kind of wait by the door.
The doors to the theatre will open slowly. A feline, slender-looking creature, person, walks out with a hood covering most of his face apart from the front of his snout, peeking out, his loot strapped to his back. Nails, good to see you again.
Like my good buddy, hop on in. Games afoot and all that.
Good to see Monty's quiet for a change.
He's made himself quite at home. If you need a seat, I'm sure he'll do.
I don't think he's the most comfortable to sit on.
Yeah, too much metal.
And I'll climb up onto the wagon and perch myself alongside Nails.
I'll kind of shift you along as best as I can and make as much room for you. You're much more slight than me.
I'm very slender.
Yeah. And then, I'll kick the sort of the horses along, and I'll kind of pass you a drink that I was kind of supping from. It's just kind of like a sort of a hot sort of spiced wine. And then I'll sort of drive that on towards the gates. And might need sharp tongues and, if needed, sharper blades to get out here, but let's try and keep it peaceful, alright, light. I don't think he'll be much use in the back, but needs be will give him a kickstart and if things get heavy.
Worst comes to worst, we'll say we're taxi drivers taking a noble home.
To be fair, not far from the truth.
Exactly.
Sort of pull up at the gate and sort of literally just join whatever queue there is, if there is one, and sort of slowly try and make our way out of town.
There's a couple. There's quite a bit of traffic. You're heading out of the one that heads to the field ward, and at this time in the morning, it's only really like the servants and the serfs who are coming in to work in the city or leaving to go to their farms. And so there's quite a bit of traffic kind of passing through the gate, and there's a guard there stopping each one as it comes and letting one through, and then finally it comes to your turn. A guard stands in front of you, kind of puts you to a halt, starts to look over at you shiftily.
I'll kind of take my hat off sort of slowly and straighten it out, make sure it's well looked after, and sort of pop it down on sort of the sort of spare area of the wagon behind me. And I'll be like, "Easy, governor, how's it going? Try and make our way out of the city. Busy night, looks like."
Busy morning, always is.
Well, trying to get this one out of town. He's had one too many revelries.
More wine!
Yeah, as you can see.
Well, I won't stop you too long. Don't want to get the Dung Sweepers Guild involved here. Quick, move!
I know. Yeah, I'll kind of kick stuff on. Good doing business with you, sir. Fair. Bye. And I'll just try to drive the wagon through.
He's just kind of chuckling and slightly confused by your premise of approaching a guard and trying to talk him down. Like he's just the watchman. I'm kind of imagining that all around this scene is like the serious escape route of the wagon, full of wine and yourselves, and then just around you is everyone who's just going to work and just wondering what the hell's going on here. As you're just passing through, it's just complete juxtaposition.
They might be nails, but doesn't mean I'm the sharpest tool in the box.
Either way, it is not long before you've made it outside of Waterdeep's walls, and you're making your way along the tradeway. And it's a fair journey to Daggerford. So, resting up now, Monty. You've been at least sober for a couple of days, just trundling along after making camp a couple of times. But we come to a scene One of a landscape filled with fields and cliffs to the left. And yeah, the rattling of the wagon's rickety wheels continue to sound beneath your wagon as it trundles along the tradeway. After many days of travelling atop high cliffs of the Sword Coast, the dramatic backdrop of the sea to the west shifts into a dense marshland, shadowed in the day's waning sun. You three are atop the wagon, and you've had quite a few days of travel. Is there anything you get up to while trundling along? It's quite boring otherwise.
Yeah, I'll have passed the reins off to one of the others. Who would one of you guys want to sort of take drive while I'm working in the back?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So I'll be in the back of the wagon, basically, essentially kind of rubbing ceremonial oil over Monty's greatsword. It's a greatsword, I am right.
Yes.
And essentially, and then whetstoning it with those kind of oils to imbue it with my Forger's Blessing, that will kind of make it a magical weapon. And while I'm kind of doing that, I'll be munching on an apple, like just hammering it into my face.
Mm-hmm. Who's at the front then?
I'll be driving with. I'll be steering the wagon with Light sitting beside me, I assume.
Yes, and I'll probably be playing the lute as we go along.
So, do you think, Light, that we might get into some scrapes and some adventure on the way? It's this. I've heard some tales that not all these wagons get there unmolested. I do hope we do. Maybe bump into an ambush, goblins, orcs, maybe a dragon.
Well, one would hope for a peaceful journey, but I think we're probably quite prepared. Given what happened a few days ago in Waterdeep,
Well, let's not talk about the incident in Waterdeep. I think we can all agree mistakes were made and recompense was paid by us in some capacity, feeling guilty about the acts that may or may not have happened in the town.
You paid for it with a hangover.
As I recall, we set 2 dinosaurs loose down the streets.
Well, technically, Nails, only one dinosaur was actually released. The other one was safely stowed. So I don't think that's entirely fair.
That is true. That is true.
Sure. Well, those at the front, as you're kind of having this conversation, you notice that a figure appears up, stepping into the center of the road just up ahead. They're human in nature, wearing scruffy clothes, cobbled together armor, and a mask across their face.
Here we go, boys. Here we go. Need that greatsword, please, there, Nails.
Getting closer, you can make out the shape of a flying snake on their forearm. As you near, they raise a hand. Halt!
Hello. Good day, sir. Are you planning on ambushing us by any chance?
If you would be so kind, citizen, let us have a look at your wares. No harm will be done.
I'm, to be completely honest, not very worried about our safety. We are tasked to get this wagon safely from point A all the way to point B. And I'm afraid part of that deal is not letting any stranger along the street get in there into our gubbins.
Look, we just want to have a looks.
You just want to have a look?
As you're kind of having this conversation, you notice another thug appears from the foliage, kind of running along the bank of the road, making his way towards the back of the wagon.
I'll kind of like just pick. It's a massive fat greatsword, and I will literally like hand it to Monty like a paddle, like over my shoulder, and then I'll kind of lock eyes this figure. What does he look like? This or he or she, I should say, kind of running around the back.
So these figures, they seem, well, they're kind of masked, so it's hard to tell. A couple of them seems bald in nature with, as I said, this flying snake tattoo down their arm. They look fairly similar to each other, but not, they're just kind of bald thugs, really. He approaches you with he's got like a scimitar down by his side. He kind of approaches you with the back of the wagon, and you see him kind of go to peer over the back to see what's in there. And he just kind of takes a glance.
No closer. What business is it of yours? What's in the wagon?
He ignores you and kind of makes himself visible to the guy in front and just shakes his head.
Looking for something in particular? Other than my fist down your throat, that is.
Damn, says the guy in front. Well, they'll do. And with that, they draw their weapons. And I would like you to please roll me initiative.
Can be arranged.
Okay. Let's roll some initiative.
At last!
I had a 15.6. 15.1 even.
I rolled a 19.1.
Ooh.
I was obviously slow off the mark with a 9.8.
Okay, so it's gonna be Monty, followed by Light, followed by these thugs, and then finally Nails at the back. So, Monty, as the guy in front draws his weapon, this guy seems to have a club with some spikes on it. What would
How
you like
close
to do?
is he?
He's standing right in front of the horses.
Okay, right in front of the horses. Right, I would like to immediately use one of my special actions, which is because I'm a fighter. I've been trained in a variety of martial techniques. So I would like to do a quick toss as a bonus action, where I will throw my what have I got? A trident. I will throw a trident into the man's face to start off things.
Nice. Well, let's see if that happens.
Does that count as a two-handed attack?
No, that's one-handed. As
Okay.
You reach over the back, pick up the trident, and just throw it at the thug in front.
I roll a 15.
That is a 15. That is going to hit. This guy seems to just be, he's only wearing like some scrappy leathers and the like, so that is going to go straight through him. How much damage does that do?
I roll a total of 6 piercing damage.
Okay, maybe doesn't hit the head on that one.
It's
but it
okay.
at least goes straight through his foot, and you're going to hear, "Argh!"
It's okay, it was only to distract him while I jump off the wagon and bring down my greatsword onto him as I'm leaping through the air, trying to bring it down onto him.
Right. Okay, what is your strength?
My strength is 16.
Okay, so I think you can only jump 8 feet. So I'm going to get you to roll me in athletics to see if you can actually make it over the horses.
That's just fine. I got 20.
That's going to be perfect, isn't it? As I'm imagining you leap off and kind of jump, put a foot down on the horse and leap off the back of the horse, coming down.
Monty's arms are literally stretched behind his head as he leaps through the air, almost in slow motion as he clears over the horse's head and brings it down as he does onto this treacherous rogue. Let's see if I hit him. I got a 23 on the hit roll.
23 is definitely going to hit this thug. He's got a trident through the foot. He's currently trying to take that out of his foot and a little bit distracted.
Oh,
Brings
okay,
down the 10 slashing damage.
No, I rolled, actually, what that actually is I rolled a 6 and a 1, but I have an ability that re-rolls 1s and 2s on my dice roll, so I'm going to re-roll the 1.
Awesome.
Which I got a 5 on, so that's a total of... So it's 5 plus 6 plus 3? Is that right? So that would be 14?
14. Yeah. So you've done 20 points of damage total on this first round of combat.
That's correct.
You plow this great sword right down the top of his shoulder, kind of cleaving all the way through to the chest. And he's just...
Monty is grinning as the spray of blood rips out of this guy's chest into his face, ruining his blonde face, but very much enjoying the action.
It's done a lot of damage, but he seems to be on his final breaths. Is there anything else, Monty, you would like to do?
Oh, it's tempting to... Hold on, give me 1 second. No.
I'm kind of imagining...
You'll just leave it at like 20 points of mega damage.
This is exactly what Monty's doing. He's like done all this damage. He's going,
How to finish the bugger off? That's the question. Do I let him... I would be unsporting to not let him have a try back.
But with that, we shall pass to Light. What would you like to do?
Right, so this fellow at the front, he's been pretty gnarred up, but he's still going.
He is still just about going.
Well, I guess one of us should finish him off. So I will... Well, not probably jump over the horses as Monty did. Probably more cat-like maneuver over the horses to stab this guy with the rapier.
Sure.
So...
Very cool. Roll to hit.
Actually, I think he's actually dead because I should have added my
Nope,
active
he's still
superiority
alive.
dice. Okay, fine. Sorry. Yeah.
By the point of failing to add your numbers up. Luck.
Yes, my bad. Apologies.
So
Light,
I will
what
be
would you like to do?
moving across the back of the horse and then just thrusting my rapier into this fella. Courtesy of my fighting style being dueling, I'm wielding just the one weapon, so I get a +2, I believe, on top. So let's just roll that up. Boom, boom, boom. That's a 14 to hit.
14 is just going to hit.
Huzzah.
As you find a little weak point in its tattered leathers. I mean, it's a rapier. It's gonna skewer right through that.
So that's a total of 11 damage, is that?
What you do is you match up with that slice down the front, and the thug passes from this world. You watch as he kind of wriggles to the floor and kind of writhing. You notice his tongue's quite energetic. It's kind of wriggly as he does fall down to die.
Ugh, that sounded horrible.
However, kind of stopping there to see the scenery, you do notice that there is movement coming from the bushes to your right. Perhaps more of them.
We've got company.
Is there anything else you'd like to do on your turn?
I think I shall leave it at that.
Awesome. So, with that, nails on the back of the wagon. This guy has drawn his scimitar. And what he's going to do is he kind of grabs the back of the wagon and kind of pulls the door down so he can at least reach up onto it and kind of stab you.
Okay.
And he has rolled a 19 to hit.
That will do it.
Okay. Doing a total of 8 points of slashing damage right across the calf.
Oh, all right. I'll kind of like wince at that, and then sort of look up, like teeth kind of bared.
You can see him as he kind of takes it off, and the blood starts kind of pooling from the little wound. He kind of licks his lips, before taking another strike.
Oh, okay.
And that time it's going to be a 20 to hit.
That will definitely hit.
Doing a total of 7 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
Cheeky.
He's just wailing into you on the back of the wagon. With that, coming from the side and through the bushes, 2 more of these thugs appear. And they are going to immediately rush up to the 2 at the front of the wagon. Seeing their dead friend at the front, they're going to run round. One of them's got a spiked shield and a club. The other one has got just a javelin in his hands. So the one with the spiked shield is going to run up to Monty, who's just absolutely demolished the leader on this one, and he's going to come up with his club and kind of try and club you around the head. Unfortunately for him, that is only going to be an 8 to hit.
And also, unfortunately for him, I am going to use riposte, which means that every time a character or creature tries to do an attack on me and misses, I get to attack them back, which I will now do.
So, as he just kind of... You probably matrix dodge out the way. With that, you take the opportunity to bring your greatsword back down upon your foe.
Okay, it's actually a +1, so I get +1 to this, so let me just roll that.
You do indeed.
So I get it's going to be a 22. I also 22. Need to roll a...
Yeah, I think that's going to hit.
Yeah, I also need to... So I'll roll damage for this, but then I also need to add on my superior dice as well, which I think is a D8?
D6. Or is it D8?
It's a D8, but I have one that's a D6. That's a different thing, so... I'll roll my damage now. I'm going to re-roll that because I got a 1 and a 2 on my dice rolls.
Yep.
+1. That's +1, so that's 15 plus a D8.
A D8.
Which is another 4 on top of that, so it's a grand total of 18 for this fine gentleman with the shield and the axe.
He takes a mighty blow, and in fact he's kind of stumbling backwards. He has to kind of clutch the side, his wounded side with the club, and so he's got his spiked shield. He kind of looks at you, panics, and then tries to hit you, just slam you with the shield. That's going to be a 20 to hit.
He does hit me.
Okay. Doing a total of 4 piercing damage. Oof. As some of the spikes kind of actually bonk you right in the face, kind of give you a little bit of a bloody nose.
Remember, you asked for this, nor we did not court this violence.
He snarls back at you.
Wonderful.
The other thug with the javelin is going to try and skewer the cat. Unfortunately for him, with a 7, I believe that is going to miss.
He misses light.
Very cool. And with that, that is the end of these thugs' turns. So we're going to go to Nails, finally. Waking up in the back of the wagon. Let's go.
I like to believe he did like a cut along the calf, and then he did like one right across the pecs, like Bruce Lee style. So kind of like gushing from this kind of barreled chest, and I'll kind of like smile as like there's like a little bit of blood in my sort of beard, and I'll kind of just like roar, and as I roar, I will use my shifting ability that will make me have it's Ironhide, which will basically increase my AC by 1 and give me temporary hit points of 3 plus a D6, which I shall roll. A 1, so 4 extra hit points. Yay! So that puts me to 16. And then I'm just going to grab my shield and hammer and just go with this guy. So
you have a warhammer.
I have a warhammer, which I have managed to completely fumble on. I rolled a 1, so that's a 6 in total. I'm a bit groggy.
So I think this whole thing, you thought you were prepared for this. You know, you saw them coming around the back, so you were already clutching your weapons. But you didn't quite tie the strap on on your shield down properly, and as you go to kind of swing out, it kind of falls off, and you get distracted. And
I'll slip
it's just
on some
all
of the
mess.
stuff at the back, and kind of lose my footing.
Yeah.
I'm going to take that. I'm going to shove it where the sun don't shine. If you can.
Yeah. Would you like to? Nice. Would you like to stand up? Because I'm kind of assuming you kind of crouched down on the wagon.
Yeah. I'll I actually, if it's possible, I guess I'll No, I'll maintain the high ground
movement.
advantage.
You have the high ground, Nails!
I'll stand up and kind of bear over him and try and block as much of myself as I can with my shield. But yeah, I'll stand up.
Excellent. Okay, with that, we go to Monty.
I would very much like to attack the gentleman in front of me that I attacked last time with the shield or whatever.
Cool, very cool. Roll to hit.
See how that goes. I rolled a 19.
19 will hit.
That's actually 20 because it's a +1. Apologies.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, the 20's not going to hit. No. Of course it's going to hit. You're a trained fighter.
Okay. I roll a double 6, which is a grand total of 15 slashing damage. I am in love with Monty already. Roll those dice, Monty.
Is that also a +1?
It is actually, so that's 16 total.
Okay, 16 total. He's dead.
I would like
notes there.
to cleave him from head to nave, and so like 2 halves of him just crumple over either side. And then I look over at the javelin guy, and with a small chuckle, I would like to move up to him into engagement range. And then I would like to use another ability. What?
Is it
Action Surge is the one I'm talking about, which basically lets me do an additional action basically in my turn. And I would like to attack this fine gentleman in front of me with the javelin.
Roll to hit.
I roll that's a 20 total.
That is indeed a 20.
And
I think I'm up for early retirement.
I rolled a 5 and a 6 on 2d6, which is a grand total of 15 with the +1. So it's 15 damage to him.
Okay. I mean, this guy is probably the lightest armoured of the lot. And, yeah, you've just cleaved through the side of his... the side of his cuirass, just straight through into the flesh. You can see he's wincing, and honestly, he's totting up his odds here.
You have chosen death, sir!
Light, what would you like to do?
Well, following in Monty's footsteps, let's kill. So once again, the rapier is pulled back and thrust forth for a grand total of 10.
You bring it back, thrust it forward, but unfortunately, with Monty's great swipe, he's actually moved it out of your range, just kind of cleaved this guy around, and unfortunately, that's going to miss.
I spoke through the open hole which Monty's put in this fella.
Get some blood in your eyes.
Yeah. Light, you still got your movement? Still got your bonus action? Is there anything you'd like to do?
I will shout some words of encouragement Nails' way to assist him with the fellow he has at the back. Therefore, casting Bardic Inspiration upon him, gifting him a d6 within the next 10 minutes to any of his checks or attack rolls.
That's awesome.
So, the thug at the back
Gotta love
is still
Bardic.
up, and even though he's got this big beast hulking down over him, he's still feeling fairly confident in himself, having got quite a few jabs off earlier on, and he's gonna go for the swipe. He doesn't really know what's going on the other side of the wagon. He's just got blind rage.
It's all
at the
gone a
minute.
little bit tits up over here.
However, that is going to be a 19 to hit.
Oh, my armor class now is exactly 19, so that's a hit, isn't it?
Meets it, beats it. For a total of, no shit, this die has not stopped rolling 6s. 8
Man,
slashing damage.
Pretty rough back here, gents. it's ones for me and like shit hot for them. I am really showing some hurt now, actually. So I'll kind of be wincing and kind of trying to kind of cover up as best I can. Taking a bit of a twatting back here, lads.
Still up though?
Yeah, still up. I've got 8 left.
Let's see if he can get another strike on you. As seeing the signs of weakness, he's going to go in for the other side scimitar, two-handed across. That's a 13 to hit. So this time, that is, you probably parry it out the way finally getting the edge up on him.
Yeah.
And with that, he kind of takes a step back and catches sight as the guy with the javelin just looks at you both, Monty and Lion, looks down at his bleeding side. I'm out of here. And he darts off into the bushes.
Yeah, I'll show. Yeah. You get out of here before I mess you up. I'll just instantly slump back in the seat.
Do we get to have an attack of opportunity on the javelin guy?
He's gonna take a disengage action.
Oh, what a...
So, unfortunately not.
How unsportsman of him!
And he darts off into the bushes off the side of the road.
Does the guy leaving me? Does he?
He hasn't left you yet. No.
He's just
He peeked around the side.
Okay, cool.
Either way, it's Nails' turn. What would you like to do?
I will try and hit him.
Sure. Do you want to roll to hit?
So I rolled a 2 this time, which is one better than 1. So I think it's just all a mess here in the back. I'm just tripping over all of the sort of stuff, and I've completely lost my footing. So I completely fluffed my attack on him. So I will. I will use a spiritual weapon, and I'll summon that on the opposite side of him.
What does that look like?
So I'm figuring like I'm kind of pretty badly hurt. So as I'm kind of wincing with the pain, I'll kind of like clench my fist, and then this kind of sort of smouldering kind of comes off me, and then from behind him there's this kind of burst of flame as this kind of forge fire ignites, and this sort of like hammer, like a blacksmith's hammer, just like emerges, wreathed in sort of holy light, and comes and smites down on them. Cool. So that is a spell attack. So I have to bear with me. So that's going to be a 18 to hit.
Yeah, an 18's gonna hit. He's kind of distracted, looking off to what's going on in the front, and he's not seeing this big burning anvil around the back that's coming hulking down on top of him. Yeah, how much damage does that do?
That is 6 plus my spellcasting ability modifier, which is 2. So that's 8.
8.
And that's force damage.
Your spellcasting ability's 2?
Yes.
He just called you out, then, Ian.
Look, I'm part-time priest. Most time faller over by the looks of, to be honest. Alright? So, don't go too heavy on me there, Solar. I'll give it my best shot here, alright? Working man's trying to make $1, alright?
I hate to say it, you might need to shift patron and start praying to Lady Luck, because it's not on your side at the minute.
It's not. Right,
however, that is still going to get a strike off, and you see him takes the burn as he then kind of turns towards you, snaps him back into the action, and he's making a quick decision, but he sees you're low, and he's just trying to tot that up in his head. So, back to Monty at the front. You've watched this coward leave you and dash off into the kind of the bushes and the marshland off to the right.
Light, you get after that damn fellow. I'm going to go and help out Nails, and then I'll charge around the back. And as I'm turning the back of the wagon, I'm already swinging my great sword to smack this guy across the back of his head.
You go for a pre-swing. It's known in the industry.
What's it called?
It's a pre-swing.
A pre-swing. Yeah, a pre-swing. Yeah, I'm really I'm warmed up now. Do you know what I mean? Like I really want to get involved. So I'll do this.
You've activated the attack way before, and you just can't cancel the animation.
I rolled a 22. So do I hit with a 22? Do I have to announce doing a...
Shall we just assume that Nails hits? Not Nails, Monty hits every time now.
Yeah, I don't know why we're bothering with me rolling dice at this stage. It's like, right, okay, hold on. When you hit a creature, right, I will actually use, I'll use a trip attack on him.
Right.
As this, so I will roll, and I will
also apply your superiority die.
Yes. So I think he needs to roll a thing for that, though.
Strength saving throw. I mean, you're going to trip this boy up. Like, the pre-swing, he does not expect
No.
it.
So let me...
Nobody expects the
No one
pre-swing.
expects
No
the
one
pre-swing.
expects the
It's years of
pre-swing.
training to get that pre-swing just down, you know? Like, the last thing you hear is the whistle of the blade, you know what I mean? So I will roll damage for the greatsword.
Is that including your +1?
I rolled a 14 total on that guy, and then I will add... that is including my +1.
That is the...
And then I'll roll my thingy dice. Oh, I only got a 2 on that, so that's a total of 16 damage to him.
Total. Cool.
Just because you can beat on the anvil doesn't mean you can take the hammer, boy.
And fortunately for you, with the damage from the amble before he's already been burned, that's going to be enough to finish him off. So instead of tripping him, you just remove.
Yeah, I'd like to effectively just take the top of his head off, so it spins
Right,
off
okay.
like a bowl.
You take it pops off like a bowl, kind of flops down on the road, starts spinning around, and as he falls backwards, there's just some things kind of flying out, and you watch them all land in the bowl like a perfect soup.
And then I'll turn round to look in the back of the wagon, smiling, and be like, "Everything okay, Nails? Are you okay, good chap?"
Looks like you've got it all in hand, boss. No need to worry about us little folk back here. You
Quick,
kick on.
Nails! One of the buggers got away. We're gonna go and hunt him down in the bushes.
I'll be right after.
Right, Light, your turn.
Well, I'll take heed of Monty's word to chase, but before I leave, I shall cast Healing Word upon Nails, upon seeing his slutty, ravaged body in the back of the wagon.
Look, that's just a Tuesday, to be fair. We'll call this a Wednesday.
And that gives you 6.
What do you say to him? What are your healing words?
On the spot now is Light. Your wounds are merely of the flesh. The soul is healed.
'Tis but a scratch.
Basically.
Nice. At that, I'll just be like, do you know what all the faff was about anyway? Let's get on.
So that was your bonus action, right? So
And-
you've got...
Yep. Movement and action available. Because this fella's going to... I'm guessing he dashed.
No, he disengaged.
Disengaged and fled.
Mm-hmm.
If possible, I would like to give chase.
Yeah, sure. You just burst through the foliage off on the right. It was kind of blocking your view, but as soon as you get through there, you can kind of just see the marshland coming into view. In the distance, there's kind of a mix of that and farmland at the minute. But yeah, you see this guy just running, and you have enough movement to get up to him and even past him. So
Yeah, I mean, you're a tabaxi, aren't you, Bungle?
yeah.
Yes, so I have the feline agility, so I can...
Well, even without that, you're 35 feet. It's
Yeah.
going to be enough to get around.
Yeah,
So
I shall get round and engage him again.
what would you like to do?
Um,
As he's
yield and tell us what you're looking for, or die.
This guy is. This is all happening way too fast for him. He is still sprinting.
Well, stabby, stabby time.
You have chosen death.
So, once again,
Roll to hit, please.
18.
Yes.
That's gonna hit. Roll some damage.
I didn't know dice went that high, to be fair.
And that is 10 piercing plus 2 for dueling style, so 12.
I'm kind of imagining this guy's running along. You're calling out to him, and then you just appear in front of him as he just runs onto your blade.
Back of the wagon,
Falls
I'm
back
like,
into the swamp.
2 gold pieces, he's got him already.
I'm not taking that bet at all. That's losing money.
That is losing money. You're learning, Monty, you're learning.
I'll walk around and grab my trident and break through the bushes behind Light and see that he's already caught the fellow. Good show there, Agile Light. Good show.
You can just call me Light. Light prefers that.
See if there's any sort of camp ahead of him. Maybe he's trying to retreat to his home base, maybe.
I feel we should deliver our goods, then investigate.
Yes, you're probably right. Enough fun for one day, as I walk back, cleaning the blood cake off my giant greatsword. Can we check the bodies?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Certainly
While
can.
they were off, I'll
Yeah.
kind of look around the bodies, scoop up the bowl with the remains in, and then fling it into the bushes.
Clean up the roads. Keep them clean.
Yeah, no, no one's going to pick it up for you. Alright?
You
It's a lesson
wander
for
over
life,
to
everyone.
to a red wooden bin. There's just labelled thug brains.
Adventurers are like dog walkers. They clean up after themselves.
Having a search around, feeling around their pockets, you do find yourselves 42 gold pieces. A red bottle, probably a potion of healing. And one of them has a blow dart on them with 3 darts traced in some kind of green liquid.
Interesting. I'll hand the gold I do have to Light.
Trust the urchin to keep the money.
Do they all have the same flying snake tattoo on them?
Okay, so you're kind of having a look at their figures now. You do notice that 2 of them look remarkably similar. Both of these guys are basically almost identical, actually. They're bald heads. They've got a snake tattoo on the same arm. The other 2 look slightly different, but again, do have this flying snake tattoo on their arm. However, any of you who have spent any time kind of within the cities and within the Sword Coast would recognize that to be the symbol of the Zentarim, the Black Network. Notorious thugs and mercenaries who do anything for power.
Okay. Are their masks quite distinctive, or are they all the same?
The masks are not that distinctive, no. They're just kind of cloths draped across them.
Oh, okay.
Classic
not
highwaymen
like-
style, yeah.
Right. Okay.
With the amount of money they had on them, is that unusual for people of this kind of appearance? Is that
Yeah.
so that they've
Yeah.
they've already
A gold is a guard's weekly wage.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. So these guys look like they've either been already paid in advance, kind of, you know what I mean? Or like it's like an amount of money they would have had to have taken or been given, basically.
42's an odd number. Split between 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and it wasn't equally spread. It was kind of sparsed out. So it might just be their spoils.
But it wasn't honestly earned kind of money. It's like...
You did also notice that a couple of those fellas did have, a strange lisp.
Yeah.
If you...
Do we, recognize... Are they human? Or are they...
as far as you're aware, they look human.
Okay. Does that lisp kind of... Or... Does that ring a bell? Is there any kind of groups that we know of that have that kind of...
Why don't you roll me a history check?
It's not my strong suit, Lance, but by the looks of it, not a lot is. Oh, well, actually, there you go. You curse the words, you get the blessing. Well, we'll take a 17 there.
You're trying to recall back. There's nothing that really jumps to mind, honestly. It's not really within your bounds of research. It's a very culty thing to do. But other than that, with a 17, I can tell you that there isn't anything that really comes to mind.
Okay.
So, shall we head on to our destination, or shall we have a look for their camp?
We're assuming they have a camp, of course. I imagine that one was fleeing somewhere, but we can't trundle this thing through the marshland, so we'll have to either tuck it away somewhere, or make on to Daggerford. That would probably be my suggestion, sir.
Yes, then Daggerford it is. Can I borrow some water? I seem to have some people on me still.
We keep it in the back, Monty.
Oh, look here, break in case of emergencies. It's a little late for that, but I think we can all agree, well deserved. And I'll punch in the thing, retrieve the bottle of wine,
As you open the chest,
Yeah.
in there is a large net wrapped around something big in the center.
No, what's the big thing? I want to investigate and look.
Okay, you start to kind of unravel the net. There's just a pterodon head in the back. With a little note on the side
Ugh.
that just says, Love Bethel.
Well, this isn't wine at all.
To be fair, we did rather set it loose when we delivered it, so as I recall, it might have caused a little bit of a stir with our appointment keepers, so I think they call this a jest in the business.
Fair's fair. Nice net, though. Really nice net. I'll pocket the net.
Always a bright side. I'll kick the horses on, sir. Let's get this on the way.
Right you are, Nails. Right you are.
So, we continue on down the road. It inclines, taking you up and out of the low wetlands you just entered into. And as you crest the peak of this small hill, you are welcomed by the sight of golden fields that stretch for acres to your north. A cobblestone track runs down the valley to a bridge across the D&amp River. A rushing expanse that carves its shining path across the land, all the way to the sea. Situated on its nearest bank is the small walled town of Daggerford.
Delightful.
We've had some business here in the past, boys. It's, fairly quaint. It's basically where you go when you can't make your way quite in the main cities.
It looks rustic, that's for sure. I love the little quaint architecture to the place. Wonderful.
Rustic's the word.
Light, as you're kind of on the front, you actually notice that just as you're kind of leaving these wetlands, it's still kind of there off to the it'll be west. Off to the west is the marshlands kind of go off into the distance. They kind of make up the delta of this great river in front of you. You notice on the ground and on the road there are wheels, like wheel tracks that kind of dart and veer off to the right at quite some speed. They look like a wagon has veered off the road at quite some speed. And just off there, you can see a half-sunk wagon in some of the mud.
Who's driving at the moment?
I would be, probably.
Nails, stop the cart.
Right. Kick it to a stop.
Just
What's the
Monty
commotion?
Monty gets out the bag. More bandits!
well, there's a sunken cart. Just to our...
Oh.
But
We'll tow him out. Right. I'll kind of peer over to where Light's looking. Is it abandoned or is it sort of half...
It's
what's the state of
abandoned
it?
and it looks quite old, to be fair. Looks weathered.
how fresh are the tracks for the veer for it look?
It's fairly crusty, so perhaps wet and dried mud, kind of. So it could be any time in the past few weeks.
Is it kind of boggy territory? I mean, is it kind of like we're talking like quicksandy
you're
kind of stuff?
on the edge of some of the bog and marsh. It's not too much that you can't go into it, but it looks like it's been smashed up a little as well. So it's kind of helping it kind of be.
I'll kind of like sigh, take off my fur jacket, pluck my boots off.
I'm gonna grab
Take off the hat.
I'm gonna take a rope and pass one end to Nails and hold on to the other end basically.
I'll very neatly kind of package up all those kind of finer pieces of clothing.
Yep.
And I'll like take my rings off, take this huge gold chain, and I'll kind of knot all that up and sort of slap it down, and I'll literally like pat it like it's a kid, like on my seat. keep good care. I'll have a little wader. I'll see what we can draw back. Light, if it proves that I'm going to be drawn under, we might need someone with a slightly lighter touch.
Okay, I'll prepare.
And then I'll just kind of start sort of like slogging my way out into the marsh towards the wagon.
Yeah. So yeah, you plop, 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 as you make your way out there. Start to heave it out slightly to get a better look at there, and you can see that there is, in particular, a smashed crate. It's completely empty, but a symbol on the side is that of a purple circle with an upright white hand in the center. And you, having spent at least some time within the walls of Waterdeep, well, more than just some time, recognize this as the mark of the Watchful Order of Magists and Protectors.
Okay. Does
Mages,
that mean
magicians.
anything
It's a
to
faction
me?
of
Mages, magicians, okay.
Yeah, mages, magicians.
Safe to say
Those
that
who
means
deal with the arcane.
wizardy folk means nothing to me. So I'll. Does it look like we could actually? Is there anything of value, or is there any
Completely looted.
reasonable chance?
Empty.
Yeah. Okay. So this is just a ruin, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. So I will literally slot my way back. Assuming there's nothing else to investigate on there that I can see, I'll just slot my way back, probably getting as messy as it's possible for a man to get, and emerge more bog than man on the other side.
You probably could spend more time in like searching around here, but
Oh, cool. Does it look like? Sorry, if it looks like there's more.
No,
then,
it doesn't
I will
really
wait.
look like there's more. But you could. Like, it's
Yeah,
it's a vast.
I'll
marsh.
investigate it. I'll investigate it.
Get your hands in there, Nails.
It's not
Get involved.
It's not comfortable though, and you probably spend some time kind of slogging out bits. If you're searching around the wagon, you're just kind of pulling up mud, but not really finding much at all. Honestly,
Keeping true to form, and I probably got some bog in my eyes. I rolled I rolled myself pretty crap for my investigation. So let's just say I found a fistful of dirt, and I called fair's fair and walked off.
exactly.
Fuck me, boys. What is this? I think I'm rolling D6 here. What's going on? So, I will again then just slob back to the to the cart, and I will stay as far away from my finer clothes as possible, and just slop back onto the driving seat. And I'll describe the symbol I saw. So it was a eye and a purple circle. Am I right
It's
about that?
a white hand and a purple circle. It's the order.
White
of,
hand and a purple circle.
Yeah, you can just remind yourselves.
Yeah,
It's the
I'll let everyone
Watchful
know.
Order of Magists and Protectors.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, they weren't too watchful there, were they? Getting their cart lost in the bog, were they? Hey?
Actually, that is quite droll, Monty.
Indeed. Now let's get into town where we can drink some bloody wine already.
So, having said that, you make your way down. You can see on the over the river, the road continues across what is known as the Tyndall Bridge, as legend has it that a young boy of the Tyndall family fought off lizard folk coming to take Daggerford and its people with just a dagger. But that is not really what the attention is drawn to, as, unfortunately for you, there is a large queue of caravans snaking its way from the caravan gate past the open grounds and overflowing onto the tradeway. One by one, you can see merchants bring forward their vessels for inspection by a board of Zentarim mercenaries. The head of these inspectors deals with the merchant. Papers are examined and discussions are had. Two open up the caravan to rummage through the goods inside, while two others keep watch. However, you also notice that there are a number of guards also here, watching over the process. It looks legit.
So the guards are watching these Zentarin guys hustling for looking in the back of these wagons.
These Zentarim look to be literally just at the gate, acting as some kind of like customs or something.
Don't like the look of this there, fellas. Those look awfully similar to those other chaps we carved up on the road.
And what we have to gauge is this a official body, or were those representatives back there rogue?
Well, I think it would be worthwhile not mentioning the glorious combat that we took part in if we are approached at the gate.
Yes. For some of us it was glory, for others it was just a good beating, to be fair.
You see the way I took the top of that guy's head clean off? It spun in the air like a spinning top.
As you're getting closer to this gig, you can see there's a specific theme going on here. While not always they look in the back of the wagon, they seem to always be asking for papers.
Were we gifted any papers?
Looking,
by
tapping your
Bethel?
pockets,
Cool.
looking in the back of the wagon. No papers.
Maybe we should hide the wagon somewhere and maybe make our way in on foot.
Yeah, I mean, have we? Were you kind of a little bit of ways from the queue?
You're
right
kind
now?
of in the queue, at least to have noticed this.
Okay, so spinning us around and literally going somewhere else would draw attention, basically.
At
we
this
suspect.
range, probably yes.
Yeah.
Okay, Monty is going to get into the back of the wagon and open up a couple of crates and see really what's in there. Like, so there's wine, right, and there's food, right?
It's pretty much all wine. In fact, sweet berry summer wine.
Okay, I'm going to take a couple of bottles out and open one, pour a little bit in the back of the wagon, and then head up and to the front of the wagon and start acting a little bit inebriated.
Okay. It at least smells like wine. Have you
Have a
been
couple of drinks.
taking little sips?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'll be
It's a very fine wine,
yeah.
and this time it is wine.
Yeah. Not that sparkling stuff they served in the that tavern.
Quite hopsy, wasn't it?
Yeah, quite hopsy wine. Yeah.
The rum was good.
Like, if I was to put a piece of paper in front of you, would you have any notion of the kind of scrawl that should be written on it? You know, here to deliver such and such to... were we given a name of who we're supposed to deliver this to?
You know you were supposed to be delivering it to the River Shining Tavern.
Right.
If they mentioned a name, the patron of the tavern is Durgley Cross.
Durgley Cross. You know, something along those lines, you know. By delivery order of to Durgley Cross Tavern Lad.
You know what,
that
Nails?
kind of jam.
You know what, Nails? Maybe asking the old caravan behind us for their bit of paper and seeing what's written on it might be a good idea.
Well, you never know. Sometimes you can find a jewel in the most unlikely places. Why don't you go and see if you can pluck that free?
Roger that, and I'll jump off the wagon, bottle of wine in hand, and I'll approach the wagon directly behind us.
Behind there is a halfling. No, sorry, not a halfling. It's a farmer like gnome, who's just kind of sitting at the top. In the back of the wagon, you can see just a bunch of hay.
Yeah. Hello there, good fellow. A wonderful day to you, sir.
What?
Well, what is a wonderful question? I'll take a swig of the wine and then pass it over to him.
No, I'm working.
I mean, this is some of the finest grape juice fermented you will ever try, my good man. This is quite the treat, I
And some
assure
of
you.
us aren't quite as lucky to be drinking all day. Some of us
I
have
mean-
to work, you know.
It's not all day, it's most of it. I mean,
Hard
honestly.
labour. I have to grow this year after year, and this is how I make my profits. This is how I have to live. And you go flaunting around with that big great sword and just, do the easy work, honestly.
Light, while he's a little bit on the distracted side, you wouldn't mind a little bit of your tendencies?
Well, Light can try.
Well, I don't think that's fair at all, my good man. I came back here to further share the pleasantries of the day with you and maybe share some of this fine bottle of wine. I'm sorry, sir?
I bet you were born into it.
Born into it? Well, I mean, Mommy and Daddy are
I didn't
certainly...
vote for you.
No, voting? How? No, we don't have a vote system at all. It's all in the blood, like born to it. Like it was my forefathers and such and great halls and wonderful tales of adventure.
While Monty is distracting him, can I try and swipe a look at his paperwork?
Just so you do know that we're trying to get papers for a hay delivery.
I'm not stealing them.
I'm fully aware that this is a disaster.
I'm not taking them. I just want to see what the papers look
so you
like.
just want to have a peer instead. All right, I'll.
Yeah.
So a perception check.
Kidoki. 11.
Okay, you kind of peering across. In fact, you get a pretty good look as this gnome is getting quite worked up. In a heated argument with Monty. You kind of give it a good peer. It's it's standard affair, couple of pages to from what your reason is to be within the walls, how much you're bringing in, what's the rough cost, and that kind of thing.
Okay.
I'll be outraged at this stage, just drinking from the bottle and
You see, this is
yelling
the
at him.
problem with places like this. It brings too much of your folk in.
What do you mean, your folk? I take great offence at that, sir. You step down from that wagon, I'll show you this bloody great axe or this great sword of mine, and then we'll see who's the better man.
I'm being oppressed.
Oppressed? Oppressed? This is outrageous.
Monty.
I do not. My hair is even furrowed at this stage. I am deeply upset by your tone, sir. I said good day, sir. Good day. I've been completely oblivious to Light actually approaching the wagon at this stage because I've been so outraged, and I walk back to our own wagon.
Making friends.
I hate to tell you this, Nails, but there's some of those democratic people out here are not to be trusted, I assure you. Gets in the natural order of things all mixed up and skew with,
Going places and making friends, Monty. One of your strong suits.
Well, he certainly doesn't get to call me Monty. To him, I'm Lord Hammersmith Smythe.
So,
I'll have kind of straightened out a piece of paper ready for Light to
Have a go at it.
now are you proficient in the forgery kit?
I am not.
To be honest with you, I just assumed you would be better at it than me.
Oh, we're never getting into this town, fellas.
Now, the question is, are you going for it from a point of view of kind of making your own, taking your own take on this, or are you trying to kind of basically copying it to a T? Essentially, either being kind of an intelligence for making your own version, or dexterity if you're just going for kind of copying.
Let's go. Do you mean deception rather than dexterity?
No, it would be
No?
well, we can perhaps work in deception, but if you're trying to do it, you can either have an intelligence deception check
Yeah.
or a dexterity deception check. So if you are proficient in those,
Hey.
then you can add your proficiency to one of
Well,
those two.
I have proficiency in neither.
What do you think you would do?
I would probably try to copy the one that I have seen as best I can. But
So going for the dexterity
Yeah.
version.
Good luck, Bung.
Cool.
so do you want a straight dex roll?
Yep.
Our survey says 12.
12.
not bad. It's not bad.
Well, it's several digits higher than I've ever seen.
Okay. Well, you're kind of rushing it as you're getting closer and closer to the front of the queue, and now you're.
Yeah, as he's drawing to it, I'd be like, light, light, and he's scribbling away furiously.
Light is going as fast as he can.
It's not a story, Light.
The Zent leader kind of steps in front of your wagon, up at you. He's wearing like some black leathers, an overcoat. They're all wearing like these kind of pins to kind of prove they're of like Daggerford, like a Daggerford crest or something, draped over them. But they're all wearing these kind of either leathers or the main guy's kind of wearing these black leathers with like a duster coat on, essentially.
Okay.
And he steps in front of you, kind of looks at the driver, who I believe is Monty at this point in time.
No, that'd be me. I'd be the driver.
Oh, right, cool.
Yeah.
Nails.
Yeah.
Halt. Papers.
At this point, I look more like bog than man. It's dried on bog, in fact, at this stage. And I'll be like, good day, sir. One moment. We're just as you can see, run into a bit of bother on the road. Just going to get those papers together. Light, we found the papers, haven't we?
Yes. And I'll pass the paper forwards.
Okay, takes it. Well, yeah, pass it forward. Pass it forward.
I'll purposefully kind of like crumple it in my slightly boggy hands, and then hand it on to him.
He takes it and does the thing where he like straightens the paper out.
As he takes it, I'll lean out the wagon and be like, "Oh, hello there. Sorry to bother you. Just a present for the chaps out here in the hot summer rain. It's hot sun. I'll pass one of the bottles to him, like trying to distract him from the piece of paper.
He's kind of looking at the piece of paper. He doesn't take his eyes away. He just kind of flicks a finger forward, and one of the other Zents comes up, takes the bottle from you, kind of gives you a wink, steps back.
Nice.
The boss kind of looks them up and down, flicks over the next page, looks at you slightly dodgily.
I'm smiling. I'm beaming. I'm absolutely like...
And then he looks over to the Zent, who's now holding a bottle of wine, and goes, all right, fine. Passes it back.
Good man, good man.
Take it back in my boggy hands and hand it back to Light.
Onward, Nails, onward. Watch out for that maraca behind us. Right, shifty bugger, I think. Something in the hay.
And you are waved on through.
Well done, Light.